It is more than 22 billion from Earth alone, ancient, almost forgotten by the very species that created it. Voyager 1, humanity's most distant traveler, was built in the 1970s with less computing power than a pocket calculator, but it has survived 5 decades in the abyss of space, and now, against all odds, it has sent a transmission that no one expected, a signal that challenges our models of space, time, and the very structure of reality. Scientists are stunned. The numbers don't add up. The energy patterns defy the known laws of physics. What did Voyager find out there? What is it still trying to tell us? This is not science fiction. This is the story of the impossible becoming real. Voyager 1 was launched in 1977, taking advantage of a rare planetary alignment itself beyond Jupiter and Saturn. After sending us breathtaking images and data from these gas giants, it was launched toward the edge of the solar system and beyond. In 2012, it became the first human-made object to enter interstellar space, crossing the that invisible boundary where the sun's influence ends and the interstellar medium begins. Out there, Voyager of cold darkness that we once believed to be empty, but what it found challenged that assumption. Its instruments detected plasma waves, dense, warm, dynamic, much more complex than scientists had predicted. The space beyond the heliosphere was not a vacuum, but a realm full of energy, particles, and turbulence. The magnetic fields did not disappear. They became erratic and stronger. The probe was not floating in a vacuum. It was passing through layers, structures, almost like zones of resistance, invisible tides pushing it, whispering secrets of a universe we are only beginning to understand. Each signal it sent back arrived slower, more strained, but full of new data that challenged our models of the cosmos. In 2024, something changed. Voyager 1 began transmitting anomalies in its data, strange echoes in its readings, unexpected changes in the density of plasma waves, bursts of magnetism stronger than anything ever recorded before. At first, it was thought to be a failure due to the aging of its systems. But then, the impossible happened. A temperature increase in its external sensor, a sensor not even designed to detect thermal radiation in interstellar space, let alone structured pulses. These were not solar debris. They were coming from beyond, and they were pulsing rhythmically. What Voyager found was not random. It followed patterns, cycles too precise to be coincidence. The probe, now wandering in a region where there should be nothing, was surrounded by energy signatures that hinted at interaction, structure. NASA scientists attempted a complete diagnosis, but Voyager's response was incomplete, delayed, fragmented, but curiously intentional. It was as if the probe was trying to tell us something, using the only language it has, raw data. The solar system, we believed, was protected by a shield, the heliosphere, inflated by the solar wind, shaped like a huge bubble traveling through the galaxy. Voyager helped define that edge, showing that it is not static, but always changing. However, what Voyager 1 revealed in its last clear transmissions is that this bubble has fractures, areas where interstellar matters. The plasma beyond the helium is denser, hotter, and more magnetized than any model predicted. That region is not simply out there, it is alive with forces that did not our sun. And now there is growing evidence that Voyager 1 through one of those cracks, entering a domain with fundamentally different properties. Its trajectory, which continues to be tracked, a small but measurable that cannot be explained by gravity or solar wind. Some researchers began to speak quietly about gravitational anomaly or the presence of unknown forces, fields that could connect stars, a vast cosmic web. If that's true, our system, it entered a larger one, a hidden structure. It's the galaxy together, and we had only to this. Voyager 1 is still alive, barely. Its plutonium power source is rapidly running out. It will fall silent, and with it, the last living thread between us to interstellar space will be lost. But what it has already sent back in its final years fueled decades of analysis. The temperature of interstellar plasma, twice what we predicted. Magnetic fields, stronger and more erratic. Particle density. But beyond that, it told us something we didn't expect. Is not a wall, it's a membrane. A porous, reactive, volatile interface. A place where forces collide, twist, and exchange energy. And Voyager crossed it, its golden disk, engraved with the dreams and music of humanity. now travels through a space more mysterious than we dared to dream. We may never hear from it again, but perhaps, somewhere, something else will. In early 2025, as Voyager 1's signal grew faint, a new anomaly appeared in the transmission, an ultra-low-frequency pulse in the data stream. It wasn't just noise. Its interval matched the rhythmic patterns of plasma that Voyager had recorded weeks earlier. Analyzing the waveform for harmonic resonance revealed harmonics mathematically consistent with known natural frequencies, but magnified and repeated at strange, off-scale intervals. Some scientists suggested that it could be the result of interference between Voyager and an unseen source, while others ventured to think of something more radical, that the signal was being modulated by an external structure, not just passing through space, but interacting with it. If true, it could mean that Voyager stumbled upon a natural transmitter, a region of space that behaves like an antenna, refracting and echoing cosmic information across time and distance. The idea was publicly dismissed, but internal teams continued to run models. Some called it a cosmic whisper. Others began to call it what it really sounded like, a response. Shortly after detecting the low-frequency pulse, Voyager 1's navigation data indicated a subtle but constant deviation in its inertial trajectory. It was not a random deviation, nor was it a system failure. The probe was moving, very slightly, in a way that suggested it was being pushed, repositioned by something. Its orientation was adjusting toward a fixed coordinate in deep space. It wasn't a star. It wasn't a known system, just empty darkness. But Voyager locked onto it. The probe's antenna, unable to see or measure invisible wavelengths, realigned itself as if vector of information. What could have caused this? Gravitational anomalies were ruled out. Radiation pressure was negligible. It was as if something out there had gently turned Voyager's gaze, like a hand tilting a satellite dish, a signal only it could perceive. Mission control. The trajectory continued to bend, very slowly, like a compass in a magnetic field. Some researchers began a terrifying possibility. It's no longer wandering alone. It had been found. In the weeks that followed, Voyager 1's instruments continued to be, one by one, had been to turn on without command. Old sensors then transmitting, but what they did not match anything's original programming. Files were common formats, their structure mathematically but completely alien. At first, engineers thought it from cosmic rays, but then came the datasets, coherent patterns, not from Earth and not from any machine. Linguistic artificial intelligence was applied, not to decode a language, but to identify the possibility of the result. The patterns did not correspond to terrestrial encryption, but reflected recursive structures similar to those low-frequency anomalies. In short, the data had form. It had meaning. It was now believed that the environment, artificial or not, that left a trace, like a fingerprint, in its memory. That memory is now on Earth. It really contains, hidden behind every scientific advance, the fear of discovering something we should never have found. With Voyager 1's inexplicable behavior, its mysterious data has begun to not just among serious and cosmologists. The theory is simple. Voyager 1 met through a gateway, not a like in science fiction, but a region of space-time where boundaries become, where information, matter, and energy do not behave as we expect. These regions could be rare natural phenomena or something completely different. If such a threshold exists or crossed it, then it could have triggered a only beginning. The probe's silence, corruption of its data, and its strange sensor may not be errors. They could be side effects of entering a realm that was not designed for human machines or human eyes. For now, Voyager remains silent again, but its latest messages are being decoded in secret laboratories, analyzed frame by frame, pulse by pulse. Because if what it found is real, then something ancient, powerful, and has just made contact. Not with us, but with the machine we sent in our place. Voyager 1 began as a machine. It left Earth carrying our dreams, our music, our languages, a fragile echo of who we were in 1970s. But somewhere beyond the edge of our influence, it became something else. Not because we built it to be that way, but because the universe had other plans. Its journey was not meant to end in silence. It was meant to open a door, and now we stand before that door, staring at data we can't fully decipher, watching as a machine without consciousness sends us signals that we were never meant to understand. It points to something out there, something that exists our definitions of life, space, or structure, something that not only observed Voyager, but perhaps responded to it, redirected it, perhaps used it to speak in a language we don't yet know how to hear. This isn't about a dying probe. It's about a message, one that didn't come from Earth, one that doesn't belong to us, one that maybe isn't over yet. Maybe we sent her to say, "We're here." But now, through the void, something has whispered back. What do you think Voyager 1 found out there? Was it a structure, a field, a message, or something far beyond human comprehension? Leave us in the comments. And if you want to keep exploring the most amazing and mind-boggling discoveries from the edge of space, subscribe, because the next signal could change everything we believe about the universe forever.